I never thought a box of cotton and string could shatter the quiet rhythm of my marriage. But that's exactly what happened. It began on a day I was already running on empty. My body ached. My mind felt foggy. I was on my period, and when I reached into the cabinet for the one thing that could make this day even slightly more bearable, I froze. The box was gone. I knew instantly what had happened. This wasn't the first time. I'm 27 years old. My husband, Ryan, is 30. We've been together for 3 years, married for just 2 months. For most of my adult life, I used pads, not by choice. I had medical issues that made tampons uncomfortable, but recently things changed. I was finally able to use tampons, and it felt like freedom. Less mess, more mobility. The ability to travel, work, and move through the world without feeling constantly on edge. But Ryan hated them. He never gave me a clear reason why. He just said they made him uncomfortable. And at first, I brushed it off. He has quirks, dislikes, little things he puts up with for my sake. I figured this was just one of them, until I realized it wasn't. When he first saw a box of tampons in the house, he asked me to stop using them. I told him no, that it's my body, and this is my choice. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. One day, I noticed the box missing. He had thrown it away. I was shocked, upset. But in the interest of keeping the peace, I didn't push it further. I simply bought a new box and hid it where I thought he'd never look. Apparently, I was wrong. On this day, the day my period started again, I opened the hiding spot and found it empty. He had found my stash and thrown away every single one. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. He told me he'd done it because I knew how he felt, and I still kept them around. His voice was firm, almost defensive, as if I had broken some unspoken rule. I was exhausted, in pain. My patience snapped. I yelled. I told him he had no right to decide what I put in my own body, and then I said it. Get over yourself. For a moment, he just stared at me. His eyes looked wet, like he might cry. Then he walked out. Later, he came back with his counterattack. He said that in a marriage, we should take each other's discomfort into consideration. That he had tried to talk to me about the tampons, and I had brushed him off. That I had insulted him, verbally abused him, and then he gave me his solution. If I insisted on using them, I should do it outside the house. I told him that would not happen. Inside, I felt a mix of guilt and rage. Guilt because I had raised my voice. Rage because I could not believe we were having this fight at all. Rage because I was the one in physical pain. Yet somehow, I was expected to tiptoe around his emotional discomfort, a discomfort he couldn't even explain. I kept replaying the moment in my head, wondering if I'd gone too far, wondering if I was wrong to draw a hard line. But something deeper started to unsettle me. This wasn't just about tampons. This was about control. About him deciding that his feelings outweighed my autonomy. About him physically removing something from my life. Twice. Because he didn't like it. And when I thought back to the way he'd said he puts up with a lot of things I do, I started to wonder, what exactly were those things? And what would be next? The truth is, I've never had to hide things from a partner before. But now, here I was, hiding something as basic as menstrual products, feeling cornered in my own home over a matter that impacts me directly, and him not at all. I thought marriage meant partnership. I thought it meant support. But in that moment, It felt like something else entirely. Like I was living with someone who believed my body was somehow his jurisdiction. So, am I the asshole? Because I can't shake the image of that empty hiding spot. I can't stop hearing his voice telling me I should use tampons outside the house. I can't stop feeling the sharp edge of his words when he claimed I had abused him, as though my anger at being stripped of choice was more offensive than the act itself. And maybe that's the real question underneath it all. Not whether I'm wrong for yelling, but whether I'm right to see this as a warning sign. Because if a man can't respect what you use to manage your period, what else will he decide is his to control? So, am I the asshole? I think this story is about much more than tampons. It's about boundaries, about the lines we draw around our own bodies, our own choices, and the way a partner responds when those lines don't align with their comfort. It's easy to laugh at the absurdity of a man being uncomfortable with his wife using tampons. But beneath the surface, there's nothing funny about it. Because the moment someone starts policing your body, even in small ways, they're showing you how they view your autonomy. And once that door is open, it rarely closes on its own. Healthy relationships are built on respect for each other's choices, especially when those choices affect one partner far more than the other. You don't have to agree with everything your spouse does. You don't have to like every habit, every preference, every quirk. But there's a difference between disliking something and deciding you have the right to erase it from someone's life. This isn't about compromise. Compromise is when two people work toward a middle ground in a situation that impacts them both. This was a one-sided decision, enforced by action, not discussion. And that's a dangerous precedent. So maybe the real takeaway here is this. Watch how people handle your boundaries, not when they like them, but when they don't. Watch whether they push, ignore, or quietly undermine them, because that's where their respect, or lack of it, will reveal itself. And if you've ever been in a situation like this, if you've ever felt the creeping erosion of your own agency, ask yourself the question this storyteller is asking. Not just, am I the asshole, but am I safe? Am I respected? And is this the life I want? What about you? If you were in her position, tired, in pain, and faced with a partner who removes your choices instead of respecting them, what would you do? Would you fight for your boundaries? Or would you start looking for the exit?